Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Nieman and Judy Richey.
Hello and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you in the community know how you can lend a helping hand to an organization or project in need. I'm Judy Richey, community advocate.
And I'm John Nieman with Aurora Healthcare, and welcome to our February edition of Helping Hands. Once again, where can you see us? Where can you hear us? We're on the radio at Oshkosh 101.9 FM. You can also see us on Life TV on Spectrum. Also go to oshkoshmedia.org to get the schedule of not only our program, but all the wonderful programs that are on Life TV. We also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsor, Aurora Healthcare, for sponsoring this show, and also our set design by Harnix on 9th Street. We're also very excited because this is our 15th season of being on the air with Helping Hands, and to think that this just started as an idea 15 years ago, and we're still surviving, and we look pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for the show. So we're glad that you could be with us with Helping Hands. Judy, would you like to introduce our guest, who is familiar to us and to the community of Oshkosh?
To the community too, and she's been with us through a couple of organizations and lots of projects. And this is Lorraine Yarborough with the Day by Day Warming Shelter. Welcome, Lorraine.
Thank you for having me, and congratulations, 15 years.
Yes, thank you.
And they thought it would never last.
I know.
Now, Lorraine, the first thing that I want to say is you guys are doing a great job. Yeah. Every month we have a new employee orientation. And I always talk about the warming shelter. And the first thing I say to people is, do you know that we have a homeless shelter in town? Yeah. And you would be surprised how many people, especially the new ones, because they're moving to our area, do not know. And I always use it as a chance to inform them of what's going on and all the good work that you do.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. That's really, truly what we're about, is educating the community. It is very important. I think just because of how we're evolving and where the direction of the shelter is going, is the awareness is getting more out in the community, a lot more community involvement, and like we talked about, different volunteers, and the volunteers have even, we've grown a lot in that field. So I think the people are, like you said, identified, because they didn't know what day by day meant. Right. What is day by day? Until you use warming shelter, and what does that mean? So, and again, a lot of us aren't comfortable talking about homelessness.
Well, and part of it, explain first of all where you're located.
Sure. This is our 7th season, so 7th year, and it's hard to believe that we're just started our 7th year. It was through the community efforts that back 7 years ago, the Most Blessed Sacrament, well, it used to be St. Peter's. The church opened up the shelter. There used to be the school, and they really had a commitment to this community and to the faith base to offer the shelter as a place. It was a temporary use, and we're temporarily using it as a 7th year. But it's, it's a perfect location. We're right on the corner of High and Pearl, so it's the Most Blessed Sacrament Church. It's a perfect location. It's near all the resources, and that's what's crucial for the vital part of our success, is making sure we're those resources for the guests to get services for.
Now, you said the word that I was just going to bring up too, because you guys do something different, and you call the clients guests.
Yes, correct.
You want to explain that?
Well, it's their guests. This is their home, and temporary home, and as our mission does state, that we're actually here to provide temporary shelter in a safe environment. And in our home, not only is this their place to stay, but where they eat and they sleep, but as a guest comes in, they also do have chores and responsibilities as their home, and they're guests, and we're all working together, and it just, I think, it also kind of gives them a sense of ownership and helping take care of our facility, the shelter.
And those are the pictures that are on the screen right now for our TV audience that you've described for our radio audience. But when you use that word guest, it just gives you a whole different feeling about the environment and what you do.
Right. Well, we treat the individuals with respect and dignity. Unfortunately, only by the grace there go I, that it could happen to any one of us. So I think by that feeling of dignity and respect also, and calling them a guest, it really, the guests or the homeless are already feeling embarrassed about situations of their life. But if you put a different name on it, but putting the word guest, somehow it's a positive.
Okay, and I'd like to backtrack to what you said
Sure.
earlier. Resources.
Yes.
Because you're not just providing a roof over their head and
Correct.
a meal in their tummy.
Right.
You are providing help to get them settled
Right.
in a more stable environment outside of the shelter.
That is correct. It is our goal and our mission in Ashley to provide, working toward self-sustainability. For whatever reason, excuse me, they've gotten to this place in their life. It could be some catastrophic event or what has happened. It is truly our goal. We work with the guests. We have called case management, which we're supported through the United Ways. That's why we're a United Way sponsoring agent, supporting agent, that they support us in this case management, and we meet with them and we work with their personal goals. The goals would be, do they want to work toward getting a job? Do they want to, for housing? What are their goals? And from there is how we connect with all the other resources in the community, AdvoCap, the Housing Authority, Salvation Army, even even like Father Cars, because if we talk about transitional, they started our shelter and then they would transition, say, to Father Cars, and then to ultimately to their own housing and future. So we have to work together as a community to meet those self-sufficiencies and that.
Now
Okay,
on the screen,
Okay.
for our audience, there's been lots of pictures on the screen,
Yeah.
and a lot of them have to do with donations.
Correct.
So we saw socks, we saw
Yeah.
care packages, we saw shoes. So what do you take as donations? And right now there's a picture
Care
of people
packages.
putting the care
Yeah.
packages. What's in the care package?
Well, what's really important to understand, first of all, our shelter is only open from October 15th to April 15th. So we're open the coldest months because of the temporary use permit in which we're under. And those are the coldest months. So what we look for, we rely totally on donations that would be warm. We were looking for clothing. We provide coats, hats, gloves. You've got hand warmers because it is cold. Warm shoes, boots, and anything to do with keeping them warm, and sleeping bags. We were really blessed, I got to say, this year because we did put out their stuff, the shelter, and a lot of organizations and agencies took on an item or a couple items, and we put boxes out. And when you identify those items you need, it's amazing. We had over 250 donors walk through our door in December alone, making either monetary donation or supplying us with the coats, boots, hats, gloves. It was really a really exciting time to see how the community
amazing.
help us. And help keep, well, it was very cold. We had the minus temperatures.
Yes.
Right, and the
Yeah.
faith communities got quite involved also.
Yes, they did.
So, like our church did the laundry soap.
Yeah,
Our church
yes.
also hosted the concert.
Yes,
That
yes.
was a wonderful fundraiser for you.
It was just wonderful. Where your Janet Planet and then
Tom
I'm sorry.
Thiebaud.
Yes, thank you. All came and put it together to recognize the need for shelter, and it was wonderful. But it really we were able to fill a lot of those needs as far as laundry. When we're full, which we can only take 25 guests a night, that's because of the temporary use permit. We do maybe 25 to 50 loads of laundry a night, so that's why we go through a lot of laundry soap, and we need that. So when you're asking other needs and donations, that's a big one. Laundry soaps and toe warmers, because the guests are out walking almost all day. People
And they're
don't
going to
realize-
have to go walking the
and
next
keep their
morning.
Correct.
So you mentioned it, you kind of mentioned it before. We had a terribly, terribly cold December going into January. How did you guys react to that
Sure.
with your guests and with how frigid the weather was?
Right. We built it in our policy. We kind of follow the schools thing. If it feels like 20 below, 18 to 20 below, we will do what we can do as far as getting our staff, because that's where the need comes in. We have to have staff available. But we stayed open. So we opened up Christmas Eve. We had the first blast of really cold air, and it came through in the minus temperatures. So we stayed open all Christmas Day. and the day after. So there was 3 days we stayed open around the clock. Now the guests had the ability to leave if they wanted and come back. Some may have left on Christmas and went to church or spent time with their family, but they were able to come back to the shelter. We stayed open. So we had to provide 24-hour staffing. And sometimes that's where we look upon the community for the concert. They raised about $4,000 for us. That helped to offset the cost it is for when we have to have those extra hours for keeping the shelter open.
The other thing that I'm really pleased to hear, and Captain Vicky was the one that told me that first, is that the Salvation Army opens up so that the guests can come over for coffee and donuts or whatever in the morning at the Salvation Army. So they leave you, they can come over, they've got a warm, safe place to go after that and they can come back for lunch that day also.
Correct. We have great collaboration. You know, that's
is
where
the key word.
Absolutely, between all of our community resources and other agencies, and we couldn't do it alone without them. You know, that's why it's wonderful to look at the successes of our stories. The successes of how many people have got into housing.
Okay, we're really kind of winding.
The time is coming down.
So the volunteer needs.
Yes, we really go on our website, warmingshelter.com.
It's a wonderful, easy to navigate website.
Thank you. And right now, because all our meal teams are full, but if you can look under our hospitality, and that's where you come in and you work and help us do the laundry, you help us work with the guests, and we do have that need right now. So if they can go on the website, go under volunteering, click on hospitality, and we train. So we do a training, which is very important to understand it. So it's not like you're coming in, and we really appreciate the community's help on volunteer. We have over 350 volunteers that are helping us right now.
Now let's talk about, because I think there's a slide for a fundraiser.
Style show.
Okay, because we definitely want to get that in our time. So there it is. All we have to do is ask, and it's right there.
Amen.
So your style show is coming up in April.
Right.
Wednesday, April 25th at the Convention Center.
Correct. This has become now our second annual fundraiser, and it's a wonderful community and of coming together. Last year we had almost 500 attendees, which it was just so well received in the community. The reason why we have the birds on there, the
flamingos.
Flamingos. Thank you, the pink birds.
Pink flamingos.
The pink flamingos is because it's a trip for a week to the Ocean City, Maryland, and we have a fishing trip. We've got some wonderful donations.
So you've been planning this for quite a while.
Yes, so that's why we have the pink flamingos on there. It's a week-long trip donated by someone to spend it in Ocean City, Maryland, so really exciting. But you can go to our website, warmingshelter.com now, and there is a registration button. Feel free to go on there and register. It'll take you and walk you right through everything.
Perfect. And then there's a phone number there, 920-203-4536 to register.
You can call if you have any questions, but otherwise, absolutely.
Oh, I'm glad we got that in before we wind it down. So if you had one statement to say, because you do, with the time left, what would you say?
Thank you so much to the community, because without the community, we could not be doing what we're doing.
And we appreciate everything that you do and the services that you do offer. And thank you for being on our show. We'll have you on. We'll have you on again. So thank you, too, to our audience for being here for our first segment of our February edition of Helping Hands. Stay tuned, and we'll be back for our second edition.
It's not a charity, it's more than a charity. It's about helping people we live with. It's about being the type of person that the 6-year-old version of ourselves wanted us to be. It's about community and looking out for one another. It's about money, yes, but it's so much more than money. It's about friendship and common values. It's about opening doors when others are slammed shut. It's about giving kids a place to be kids and growing up knowing they live in a community that cares about them. It's about making sure that everyone gets to see the dentist. because we want to make sure that they have every last tooth in those smiles. Ultimately, that's it. It's about the smiles, old smiles and new smiles. It's about us, all of us, our community living united, because great things happen when we live united. Will you join us?
Welcome back to Helping Hands. This is our chance, Judy and my opportunity to talk about either what's going on in the community or the wonderful things going on at Aurora. The first thing that we wanted to talk about was there's a brand new volunteer opportunity at Aurora. It's completely different than anything else. To introduce it, I have some presents for you, and they're both for you.
Oh, thank you. And it reminds me of Midwest Express years ago when I was flying out east. It's the cookie baking, and the smell in the hall when it's being done is just addictive.
You got it right there. That's exactly our new opportunity that we have is baking cookies for our patients and our visitors. So we're looking for those people, those energetic people who love to bake and have a great personality, who want to bake cookies for us. We're trying it out on Tuesdays and Fridays in the afternoon. So if you're out there at home and you love to bake and you love to chat and meet people, just give myself a call at Aurora or email me and I'll be glad to share the information with you. It's just a great chance to bond with the patients or the visitors, and like you said, that smell is what brings everyone in, and you have a chance to bake and share cookies with everybody.
Right. And in November, when Carlene and I were over doing that event for you, and they came around with the cart, it was like, okay, really nice. And like I said, it reminded me of the hospitality of Midwest Express flying years ago.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because we also have tea carts. We have a Tuesday tea cart that goes to the patients and their visitors and families. We're always looking for volunteers who also may want to do the tea cart. They don't have to bake the cookies for that. They push the cart around and they share the hot tea and the cookies and visit with people. So those are two opportunities if you're looking for something to do, especially during the winter months. Call me and we'll talk about it.
Well, there's another thing that I've really noticed with some of the volunteers, most of the volunteers, female, and some of the staff, and that is the really blingy name badges. So they have like the owl or the butterfly or other that our pharmacist Stacy makes. She never sits still.
No, she doesn't.
She has ideas. She does her best to implement them. And we really need the public to help us. She has been doing a lot of this with her own money to raise monies to buy more yarn for the Knitter's Nook.
Yes, exactly. And we love props here. So we have the jewelry and we have the yarn right here. And Stacy is a friend to all of our volunteers, and she came up with this idea. She first started by painting old bottles.
Right.
And she would sell them, and the money that she got for the bottles, she would donate to my Knitter's Nook, so we would have yarn for all the wonderful creations that people do, from the baby hats to the baby booties to the blankets to the prayer shawls. Well, then she came up with this idea, as you said, we all wear name badges at Aurora, right. And sometimes people want to bling up their name badges. So, as you said, she takes jewelry, she refurbishes it and puts it on the name badge to bling it up a little for people's outfits.
Right, and I have some samples here of types of things that she's really looking for. And these came out of my collection. I don't have as much as I used to.
There are no armed guards here right now. So.
But there'll be a few pieces going over to her. But also buttons, gorgeous buttons that I've taken off clothing, and just a single one, or a single earring. You've lost the other one. And she takes those and sometimes uses them intact. Sometimes she takes them apart and redoes them. And it makes, it's really made the volunteers feel special by having something like that. But then the staff has gotten very jealous about it.
Yep.
So it's...
Yeah, you're right, because she originally made these for the volunteers because she appreciates the work of the volunteers. But the staff, the paid caregivers, saw it and they said they want those too now. So she has been very busy besides doing all of her pharmacy work.
Which she's been really busy with the flu season. But she really needs the help of the community now. So if somebody out there is going through their mother's stash of stuff as they're closing out an estate or whatever, if there's any nice costume jewelry there, please put in a baggie and bring it over to the front desk at the hospital, and we'll see that it gets sorted out, that Stacy uses the pieces that are appropriate. If it's something that she can't, we'll see to it that it goes to another program that can utilize it. So nothing will go to waste, nothing will be thrown away. We'll really make sure that it's benefiting someone else.
Right, and that's one thing that we've always said in our volunteer fields is we recycle. So I get lots of donations of items, and if I can't personally use them, I will call another institution and say, could you use them? So this is the time. Again, we put lots of good things to use at Aurora for our patients. So we're always looking for DVDs, for CDs, for magazines, for books, for games, because we use those in our family lounges, and patients can come and they can utilize them and they can even take them home. So.
Right. Well, and when you talk about the magazines and things, how many times do we get an offer of buy one magazine, do a gift subscription for little of nothing or whatever? Go ahead and do your renewal, do whatever for yourself, and use that gift subscription for Aurora or one of the nursing homes or someplace else that would benefit from it.
Right, that really is a good thing. And again, it's reusing, it's recycling. As I mentioned before, we have a dentist in town that every month delivers his magazines to us, and we go through them. We have a group of volunteers that go through them, and they block off the address and all of that, and they put them in the waiting areas, and they manage them, and they take them out when they're past their time. So it's just a great cycle of recycling.
Right. Along with all of this, and we're talking about the winter and the difficulties and everything, did you know that Red Cross had to cancel over 150, it's probably over 200 now, blood drives across the country just this winter alone? There is such a crying need for blood. So many accidents, so many other tragedies, illnesses, and so there's always a need for blood. You have the drives at Aurora. Community Blood Bank is out and around in the community, plus you can go to their site.
Yes.
So give the gift of life.
And that's such a good segue, Judy, because we did have our blood drive in January, which is not a good month, and it was cold and it was bad weather, and it was only a 4-hour blood drive. Their goal for us was 20 units during that 4 hours. And I am so excited because we had 31 units. And that was like, they were so pleased, we were pleased. I think people are starting to realize that the need is there, but as you said, they're forced to cancel or to shorten the hours because of staffing. And so we really want to use this opportunity here on our show to encourage people to look in the newspapers and find out where the blood drives are. Now on our screen right now, for our radio audience, you can call the Red Cross 231-3590, or you can call the Community Blood Center at 800-280-4102, and they will give you the dates, the upcoming times. You also can go on their websites. They have easy to navigate websites to find out about when the next blood drive is, because it really is important, because not everybody who goes to the blood drive can give blood.
Absolutely. And now with the flu season, that's impacting it also. I think it's important to note that, the Community Blood Center, people think they're selling the blood and all this. Not a good thing to do.
You've heard all those things. Yep.
Absolutely, that is wrong. I did a little research, and they supply blood to 17 hospitals and meet the needs of about 1,000 donors they need about 1,000 donors every week to meet the demand. And the demand has not diminished. So if you're able to give blood, donate blood, please get out there and do it because it is needed.
And the one cool thing that's being done now with the high schools is that the councils or the Rotary clubs there, the junior clubs, are sponsoring blood drives also. So it's getting everyone involved. It's our community, and we need the blood. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate the research that you did on that too. Also, I wanted to mention there's lots of activities, whether it's Mercy Hospital or Aurora, there's lots of activities there that their volunteers sponsor to strengthen their volunteer programs. Mercy over the holidays, which seems like it was a long time ago, but it wasn't. They had a poinsettia sale that they had to support their program. Well, we too are having a sale on February 20th and 21st. It's Books Are Fun. We try to do it near holidays so people have a chance to get out and shop while they're at work. And so that sale's coming up, and part of the proceeds for that goes back into the volunteer program so we can do other things for our patients. So we encourage you, open up the newspaper, see what's going on, and support those things the best you can.
Right. And I think it's nice to know that the Northwestern publishes a lot of these volunteer needs, and the new paper, the Oshkosh Herald, is also going to be publishing a lot of those articles.
Very nicely done.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like in a recent Northwestern, there was an article for scarves for the anti-bullying, or the civility anti-bullying campaign, and also need for people for the community pantry. And that was just 2 articles, and there's a lot more needs out there.
I do want to mention too that we talked about our hat, mitten, scarf drive that we do at Aurora for our community's children once they come back after Christmas. And I am so pleased to say that we had over 500 items donated that went to 4 lower income schools in our community. And that was not just our caregivers, but it's the patients or the visitors that come in. You know, Lorraine, our first guest, was talking about the community. We have a very giving community here, and we do want to take the time to thank them because there's a lot of causes to support, and it seems that all the causes do get supported by the people of our community.
Right. And now with winter hopefully winding down, a lot of these items are going on sale. When you see those bargains, go ahead, get them. Put a bin aside in the closet and just keep adding to it. And next fall, bring it out. That will be treasure to one of these organizations.
Exactly. And our time, we've finished up perfectly at the right time, Judy. So our time is winding down. We're so glad that we could be here once again with you and talk about all the volunteer opportunities and the neat things going on in our community. And always stay tuned and watch us. If you need more information, just give myself a call at Aurora, 456-7013.
Or email me at judy.richey@aim.com.
Boy, you did that. You did that really good.
I finally learned it.
Oh my gosh, that's really good. So thank you guys once again for being with us. We're so glad that you could be here and join us again for our March edition of Helping Hands.
Thank you for joining us.